had a certain fondness for Survivor Series. Since I was a kid I used to love looking at the video covers and watching the events. Everyone in the back, the cleaners and the nans, everybody would get involved, and it was a real good time of year. This year we've been given 3 traditional Survivor Series matches, so because I'm quite happy with the WWE for that, I've come up with a couple of ideas for some new merchandise. Firstly, greetings cards. Mauro Ranallo, Corey Graves, look at that, lovely. I'd love to see that on my mantelpiece, everybody would. Lastly, toilet paper. Enjoy! Since it's no longer National Breast and Vagina Month in America, we're just going to get the divas out of the way first and put them on, instead of putting them on the main event or higher up on the card like we did with Hell in a Cell. Thankfully, for me at least, Fake Tits Bella got taken out of the match beforehand by a mystery attacker. I'm hoping it was Cena and they're going for some kind of heel turn from him, and they've got to go really dark and deep because, you know, who's going to hate him? Well, when you look at all the kids and parents and that, so they need to do something a bit harsh. More than likely it was going to be Natalya, who replaced Fake Tits Bella. For some reason they made us wait till last to find that out, so Becky Lynch didn't come out last as the champion, but I'll get to that later because that's a pet hate of mine. Overall the match wasn't very exciting, there wasn't anything overly special. SmackDown girls are looking a bit better, they've got better attitude in my opinion. They come to work to learn, they haven't just done a few bits of work and just told everyone they're the greatest ever. One criticism I could say is that Becky could have worked Nia's arm a bit, or at least people on her team could have worked Nia's arm, rather than just the first time she tries, she's got her in it for a matter of seconds and she's tapping. I'm liking how The Miz and Maurice are finding different ways to cheat. I know that what they're using aren't necessarily new ways, but at least they're cycling through the book of cheating, rather than just using the same 1 or 2, 3 at a push methods over and over and over and over and over again like some people do. I like how The Miz is mocking Daniel Bryan, but I don't know why he isn't stealing the whole "I have till 5. It seems like the perfect thing for him to steal, yet is neglected to do so. I have no idea how Sami Zayn couldn't see that The Miz wasn't tapping out. It was obvious to everybody, he was looking right at him, so it's his own daft fault really, faces are daft. Simple as. In the locker room, Shane McMahon breaks up a fight between AJ Styles and Dean Ambrose before it gets too nasty. And in other news, the Roman Reigns Super Duper Mattel toy went over all the other toys. None of them had special moves, Roman got 500. He won the Steel Cage Bonanza. Well done Roman, you tough bastard. Considering that there's so much talent in the 10-on-10 elimination tag team match, it was just a bit of a shock to see a few people go quite early. Obviously the New Day going second was surprising. Breezango got nothing in apart from handing out tickets from the Fashion Police, so it's a bit of a shame that we lost them so quickly. Big Kaz missed a few opportunities to either tag in or come in and just tap somebody off someone for the pin, and he just let people get eliminated. Gallows and Anderson picked up quite a few wins and they were looking very, very nice. The Usos also had a very good show as well. But it was Cesaro that looked the best by winning the whole thing. I don't know if it's just because I'm English and I don't get the whole American football thing, but I just have zero interest in Mojo Rawley. He's fucking dire, he's just annoying, I don't want to cheer for him, I don't want to see him do well, I just want him to stop and go away. Mick Foley hears Stephanie McMahon say reward, he assumes he's getting a biscuit. It turns out Stephanie wants to reward Cesaro with a tag team title opportunity tomorrow night on Raw. If the Cruiserweight division goes to SmackDown, I think it would probably do better. But Baron Corbin joins the match, he gets everyone disqualified, he attacks them both. It was a pretty good match up until the end, just a shame that the crowd didn't really get into it, as they haven't been getting into the Cruiserweights the last few weeks. They've just painted themselves into a corner, I think, with just having a handful of guys. You can only have so many rematches between them before it starts to get stale. So they're trying to mix it up with the 205 Live, but I think they're just going to dilute the brand even more. They'll probably just have a few subscribers on the network that just watch it and not as many people that would watch it on Raw. They should just let the Cruiserweight guys that aren't competing for the title mix with the other guys on the roster. That way it keeps them fresh, it keeps them busy, and they don't specifically have to be chasing that title. They can be doing other things. The 5-on-5 men's elimination tag team match was a fun, but a very fucking long match. They could have easily cut 15 to 20 minutes out of it, I think. I know there's a lot of storytelling to be done, but still. Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton ended up being victors at the end of it. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins were the last two for Raw, Reigns obviously being the last man. It was a great match with some great spots in there. Orton's RKO was insane. It wasn't out of nowhere like everyone keeps screaming nowadays, but it was still impressive nonetheless. I didn't like his stupid half RKO on Strowman on the announce table outside. It's just daft, it makes no sense. You're not jumping and pulling the enemy down that far, you're pulling them down less, so there's not going to be as much impact. You've got to feel sorry for Chris Jericho, who's absolutely heartbroken that the list of Jericho scattered all over the ring. Look at his poor little face. Vince's favourite body buddies were a bit sloppy tonight, with Roman nearly killing Shane McMahon with a spear, and Strowman showing absolutely no concern where AJ was going to land when he threw him over the top. He could have probably thrown Ellsworth a bit better through those 3 tables off the ramp, to be fair. He only fucking hit one of them. Ellsworth weighs nothing. Strowman should have been able to control that completely. Speaking of Shane O'Mac nearly dying from that mid-air spear, Randy Orton was nice enough to go and speak to his son at ringside, just to let him know that his dad was alright, or he was a goner, whichever. I was actually expecting Shane McMahon to stay around towards the end, and he was going to be the one to take some kind of sacrificial spear instead of Randy Orton. But if they're going to develop the Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt storyline a bit more, then fair enough, that makes sense, I suppose. It's time for the main event, it's time for the mega match. A match that's so spectacular, they needed a video game to just start building the hype, and then TV built the hype for the last 2 months. And it's such a bit, oh shit, it's done. In a minute and something, a minute and 20. Oh shit. That was quite a lot of build for such a short match. I hope there's more to it, because, yeah, as a Goldberg fan, I'm wanting more. It was nice, I wanted Goldberg's hand to be raised at the end of the event. I'm happy that he is, and he hasn't just returned to retire on his arse. But they've hopefully got more planned down the line. And that Survivor Series done for another year. I enjoyed most of that, did you? I'm going to end on one little criticism though, and that is Order of Champions coming out. Becky Lynch, AJ Styles, and Rhino and Heath Slater didn't come out last, and they're the champions. So, fix this. If you're going to use the champions coming out last to show respect and tradition so they're not waiting, with some people, do it with everybody please. I don't care what storyline you're telling, whether it's faked hits Bella, has tripped and popped an implant, or someone's attacked her backstage. I don't care. If you're the champion, you come out last. And that's enough out of me. If you'd like to comment, please follow the link in the description to the Botchamania site and do so there. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter, I can be found at Blunt Damage. And if you'd like to hear more from the band playing the theme song, they are The Colour Fire, and they are at www.thecolourfire.com.